Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I've been thinking about this Libra coin by Facebook and the incredible amount of people and support that Facebook has behind it and other corporations. And, you know, I've been thinking about it this afternoon, studying, doing some research into it. And, you know, I've come to some conclusions about this. And I want to let you guys in on the conclusions that I've come to. Let's get started. Let's open up the chart right here and let's take a look at what's going on. You know, this Libra coin, it is going to be spread out on different apps. First, let's read about just a little bit. Facebook announced Tuesday it's launching cryptocurrency called Libra. It set out a new company called Calibra to manage it, and the Libra Association to govern the currency, along with a few dozen founding members. Now, they're going to talk about how it works here. As you can see here, this is how it's going to look on your phone. It's going to mostly be on your phone or on your computer. Wherever you use WhatsApp. You know, WhatsApp is a huge application. Wherever you use Messenger or you use Facebook, Libra is going to be there, you know. And it'll be used on your phone, and it's going to be a wallet, like a digital wallet, like you have with your Bitcoin or whatever, you know. And it's going to grow huge, and it could grow awfully fast once it starts. It says Facebook has said the Libra digital wallet, in which people can store the cryptocurrency, will be accessible through Messenger, WhatsApp, and an app called Calibra. Now, they're going to require a government ID to set it up when it launches in 2020. But it says that they're going to keep it very simple because they want to make it accessible to the over 1.7 billion people in the world with no bank account. And so they're going to keep the amount of documentation required to set up an account with them down to a minimum, you know. Here's what I want to get to, a point I want to get to about all this. It's a very important point. Going back in history, we went through an age where kings ruled the earth. And in the kingdom, they'd have a treasury. And they'd have a treasury room, you know. And the treasury room was where the king kept all of his money. And it's that money, the treasury, is the reason why the king was the king. There's an old saying, because the treasuries used to be full of gold back in those days. He who has the gold makes the rules, basically. The power belongs to the money. Follow the money. You know where the power is. Now, I did a show on here a number of months ago, and I've done so many shows. I've actually quite literally done thousands of shows. Between my two channels, I've probably done 4,000 shows. I did a show a while back. I can't remember exactly what show it was, but I talked about corpocracies and how that the world is moving toward a corpocracy, which is basically the world will be governed by a corporation instead of governments. I said that we've went through the ages of kings, and the king always held the treasury. Well, when it moved to governments, the governments had the treasury. And even in the modern day, take a look at America. America has the Department of the Treasury, and they actually have a treasury. Fort Knox is their treasury where they keep the gold, just like the kingdoms of the ancient world. You know, it's a residue from the ancient times when kings used to rule the earth, that there would be a treasury, and the treasury would be full of gold, and the king, it would be under the power of the king. Well, when governments took over, it's under the power of the government. It's still called the treasury, and it's still full of gold. Fort Knox, you know, or supposed to be full of gold, at any rate. That gold is that power of the treasury, the power, the exclusive power of the government to create money and to control the money. This is a sudden breach of that control and power, and that control and power is going over to a corporation, to Facebook. And corporations that are going to get involved. Let's just take a look down here a little ways and take a look at this. What you see here is, here's Libra. It says it won't be fully controlled by Facebook. It's controlled by this circle of corporations that is growing all the time. They're adding to this list of corporations. Right now it's like 20 or 30 corporations. They say that when they launch this thing come the end of this year, that they're hoping to have 100 corporations on board. 100 corporations fully connected to this Facebook coin. 100 corporations. I see corporations on here. Some of them are really big. Look, I see eBay on here. I see Visa on here. I see Vodafone. I see MasterCard. I see Uber. I see Coinbase. I see PayPal. You know, big corporations joining up with Facebook. This represents nothing less than corporations taking control of the Treasury. This is the way I see it. And this is like a coup of the governments of the earth. All the governments of the earth, if they give power of the Treasury to a group of corporations, then the corporations have the power. Now, it might start slow at first, but as this Libra coin grows, and its influence grows, and it becomes the only money that's really worth anything other than store of values out there. Now, I can count the different stores of value, other things that are real money like gold, silver, cryptocurrencies in the form of Bitcoin and Litecoin and so on. These things are, but the fiat currencies, I can't count them. Now, when Libra first starts, it's going to tie itself to the fiat currencies. But they've already said that they are going to tie their value of Libra to a basket of assets, of the best assets in the world. So now what happens if Libra starts and they connect their currency and they peg it basically to these fiat currencies, and these fiat currencies start to go down in value exceptionally fast? Well, they'll affect the purchasing power of Libra, and Libra will say to itself, hey, you know what? You're debasing your currency. You're out. We don't want to use your currency in our basket anymore. Doesn't matter what country it is. It could be, say, China. We don't want to use the Chinese currency anymore, the renminbi, in our basket of Libra. You're out. We're not going to use you anymore because you're debasing your currency, and your currency is losing value too fast in Libra. And it's affecting our value of our Libra. We're not going to use your currency anymore. So the Chinese, and say by that time Libra is growing into this enormous monster of having all the value of a lot of things in it. You know, it becomes the new banking system, basically, with 1.7 billion users. Okay? Everybody's got their Libra wallets, and everybody's doing their own banking on Libra. What happens to the poor Chinese? They're on their knees then. They're coming up to the corporations and they're saying, please, please allow us to stay in your basket of currencies. If you cut us from your basket of currency, our currency will go to zero, and our country will fall to pieces. And they'll beg. But Libra will say, no, 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 you've devalued your currency. You've ruined it for yourselves. Instead of using the Chinese currency now in our basket, we're going to use gold to take the place of the Chinese currency in our basket. And now Libra is going to be a gold-backed currency. Forget you, you've just debased your currency. So then some other country starts debasing their currency. Like, I don't know, say the United States. This corporation could become so powerful they could say, hey, you know what, you guys better get on to yourselves, and you guys better do something about the debasement of your currency, or we'll cut you too. And this time, instead of just taking gold into our Libra basket, we're going to haul Bitcoin into our Libra basket. Because we want the best, most valuable assets on earth to back Libra. Right? Meanwhile, the fiat currencies out there now are sweating because Libra's going up in value, and these assets that back Libra are going up in value, like gold and silver and cryptocurrencies that back it, and the best of the currencies on earth, because they've said that's what they want. They want only the best. And meanwhile, these countries are sweating because they know that if they get cut from the Libra basket, they're done. Okay? This is control. This is power. This is real power. So the way I see it, in one swift move, if this thing actually happens, and I'm not going to say it's actually going to happen, because at this point, I'm saying to myself, hey, you know what? When's the government going to come in and shut down this Libra operation? Because can't they see that this is actually taking their power? This is nothing less than corporate. In 2020, the corporations of the earth just took control away from governments. The earth is now under corporate control. And so the rules that the corporations make, whatever rules they want to make, we won't be following the rules of the government anymore if this thing goes through, because as this corporate control, as we move further into the future and Libra becomes the only money of the earth, this will give them total power, total corporate control. And as these corporations take control, they'll make the rules, not the government. And of course that movement into the future would be a corptocracy. And this is what I've predicted way back in my shows, maybe, I don't know, maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember exactly what show it was. I predicted that in the future we'd have corporate control of the earth. But I didn't see it as being something that could move in this quick overnight. If the treasury, the value of the treasury is switched over from government control to corporate control, overnight. This will happen so fast, it'll make your head spin. The governments will lose control and the corporations will take control of the earth. And the earth will come under corporate control, with one big mega corporation as the main corporation that controls the entire earth. One big giant mega corporation, and that corporation will most quite literally be the corporation that controls the treasury or the money. Well, you know what? The governments have mismanaged this earth. They are full of people within the governments that are completely corrupt, and they're on the take, and they're just raping the world for everything it's worth, of all of its value, of all of its capital, of its money. They're killing us through inflation and everything else, and the bankers are in with them on this. The corporations probably couldn't do any worse job than the governments have already done. But that's the way it looks like it's going. It looks like the earth is heading under corporate control. And of course, if the world goes under corporate control, you know what will happen? Probably say goodbye to war. Because these corporations will exclude any corporation that doesn't do business with them the way they want business to be done. And of course, the way they're going to want business to be done is in a capitalist way. You know, a company is going to have to make money in order to survive. If they don't make money, then they're going to get delisted, and they're going to disappear as a company. And this is the way capitalism really works. We don't have capitalism right now. We've got zombie companies everywhere who are under control of the government, and the government's keeping them going. Take a look at Deutsche Bank right now. They should have just disappeared. They should have just went down and crashed and been gone. I suspect that they're being supported somehow, and their stock is being supported and kept from falling. But you can't hold this system together any longer. It's growing to the point now, at this point, where the whole system is ready to fragment. This is a crisis. This crisis is not a financial crisis completely. It's also a crisis in government. They've got tremendous unfunded liabilities extending out. The United States has got $100 trillion worth of unfunded liabilities they can't pay. Social Security programs all the way down to the different bank accounts where you store your individual retirement accounts and things like that. It's all been emptied out. It's a facade. Sure, they're still paying up, but they've just got enough money in the pool to pay up the people right now, the people who require the money right now. These people who are waiting for their money in the future, that's not there. It's all been hollowed out. And they know that, but they're not worried because their 4 years in office will be done by the time these people really want their money for their retirement, and it isn't going to be there. And they're not worried about that right now. So we're seeing this extension into corporate control, from government control into corporate control, because the government is so mismanaged, especially the monetary system, that this jump could go so fast when it actually happens. You know? So what effect will this have on cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin? Well, obviously, an awful lot of the altcoins are going to die. If you're investing in altcoins, you want to think very carefully which coins you're investing in. I know you guys are out there thinking right now about XRP. Saying, what about XRP? What about XRP? What about Ripple? Well, you know what? I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Ripple's another one of these corporations, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if it merges with Libra. That wouldn't surprise me at all if Ripple merges with Libra somehow in the very near future, you know. And so it'll survive. It's probably going to be one of the coins that survive. Bitcoin's definitely going to survive. It's going to become the new gold standard of the world. Litecoin is going to become the new silver standard of the world. Right? But some of these other coins, you got to be careful when you start to get down the list of ways. When you start to get like number 67 or number 84 and stuff like that. A lot of these coins are just going to die and you're going to lose your money. You know? Some of the larger coins might die. You know? But the surviving coins are going to receive tremendous reward because stored value is going to go into them. And I can see in the future them using this Libra as a currency and using the coins to back it up as a store of value, like Litecoin and Bitcoin, to be backup as a store of value for Libra. And what place now does the dollar find itself in all of this? The Japanese yen, the US dollar, the Swiss franc, the euro, where do they find themselves in all of this? In Nowheresville. Their value will go down to zero. Who needs them when you got Libra? But then when they're gone, what's Libra going to back itself with? Well, of course, the winners in all of this. Gold, silver, cryptocurrencies. Ultimately, in the end. And so that's where I see us going, man. Listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And listen, they're paving my road. That's what all that noise is you're hearing. All that roaring, they're paving my road. So we'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.